Good morning. Welcome to Sunday. Sorry for the slight delay. I was having some technical issues with the Facebook feed. This morning, we're going to continue our discussion of compassion, which we've been talking about for the last few weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I did a talk on the 6 elements of compassion, which are willingness, empathy, kindness, non-judgment, active listening, and altruism. And today we're going to talk about kindness. It's one of the core principles of the Dharma. And to me, we can't talk about it enough. But we're going to get into that after the meditation. So, welcome, Jean. I don't think I've seen you here before. Nice to see your face. And greetings to the people I can see on Zoom. Hi, Julie. Greetings to the people I cannot see on Facebook and YouTube. I'm happy to be here with you all. So let's start with finding a meditation posture. And that is a posture. My teacher, his name is Gil Fonsdale, described the meditation posture as a dignified posture in which we are open and ready and relaxed at the same time. So I invite you to find a meditation posture which you can be alert and relaxed at the same time. If you're sitting, I invite you to just roll your hips forward just a little bit and whatever's comfortable. Roll your shoulders back maybe. Tucking your chin just a little bit, not like lowering your head, just tucking in your chin a little bit. And if there was like a string at the crown of your head, if you like pulled it up and your chin would come in, that would straighten the top of your spine without straining the muscles in your neck. I've been contacted once or twice by someone who has back issues, finds it difficult to sit, and laying down is an acceptable meditation posture. If you're going to lay down, the suggestion is you do it with your arm at a 90-degree angle with your hand in the air, so that if you fall asleep, your hand comes down. And gently close your eyes. And I invite you to notice what it's like to be in this body in this moment. Just noticing what your body feels like. Noticing the ambient temperature in the room. How that feels on your body, where you feel that. Noticing the sensation of your feet or your legs on the floor and how that contact feels. Or just letting gravity do its thing. Noticing the sensations of your hands resting on your lap. What that feels like on your hands, what that feels like on your legs. Just coming into the body in this present moment. in the simplicity of this moment. And let's take a few slow, deep breaths just to help connect to the body. Noticing the sensations as your chest and belly expand, letting your belly be soft and expand. Another slow, deep breath, about 3/4, not straining. And as you exhale, just begin to relax and soften your body. Another slow, deep breath. Now on the out breath, relax the muscles around your eyes and let your eyes just roll back. Letting your breathing return to normal. And on the out breath, continuing to just let go, relax, relaxing the muscles in your face and your neck. If you notice you're holding your shoulders up, relaxing your shoulders. Just letting gravity do its thing as you relax and settle into your seat. Relaxing your arms and your chest, and your stomach. Just letting your belly be soft. We hold in our stomachs a lot of the time, just relaxing those muscles. And anywhere you feel tension or pulling or stress in your body, just meet that with kindness and let it go and relax that area as much as you can. As much as you can. There's no end point to get to. Just noticing. Noticing with kindness. And now let your attention come to your breathing. Sensations of breathing in as your belly expands. Noticing the air coming in through your nose, maybe a little cooler. It goes out a little warmer. Just resting your focus on the sensations of the body breathing. You can do this by focusing on the sensations of the air moving in and out of your nose. Some people do this by focusing on sensations of the chest or the belly moving up and down. Some people focus on the global experience of the body breathing. Whatever is easy. Just to keep your focus on the sensations of the body breathing. When your mind wanders off in thought, that's okay. It's supposed to do that. That's what the mind does. Just notice thinking as a thing without getting involved in the story or the thought stream or whatever the content is of the thought, just thought passing by. And bring your attention back to the breathing. You may have to do this 10 times, you may have to do this 100 times. It's all good. Just noticing thoughts coming and going. Like a train going by, like clouds drifting by. And bring your attention back to your breath. One breath at a time. And the simplicity of sitting, just sitting in the present moment. Thoughts arise, sensations come and go. It's all good. Just notice. And if you can, noticing what it's like to notice. And bring your attention, slide your attention gently, compassionately, kindly back to your breathing. Noticing when your mind wanders off, you may notice right away. Some period of time may go by. It's all good. Just bringing your attention back to the breath. And as we come towards the end of this session, I invite you to meet whatever your experience is of this meditation with kindness. And if you can, gratitude for the moments we got to spend sitting together, sitting quietly in the present moment. And I invite you to visualize kindness as a seed that is blooming in your heart, a flower that glows and fills you. To this practice, enable you to meet the world with kindness. As we now bring our attention from the inward focus to focusing a little more outward towards the world with kindness and compassion. And may it be that this practice enables you to bring kindness and compassion and well-being to yourself, to those you love, to everyone in your household, into your neighborhood, into your town, into the world. In our encounters with the people close to us, or in our encounters with the people passing. May the benefits of this practice be of benefit to all beings everywhere. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease and at peace. Thank you for your practice. As usual, I put the usual information in the Zoom chat. How to get to these sessions on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. My website, how to get in touch with me if you want to. I'm available if you have any questions or need to talk. And a link for donations if you feel so inclined. That is not requested or required. It's just there. So we're continuing our exploration of compassion with a discussion of the 6 elements of compassion, which are willingness, empathy, kindness, non-judgment, active listening, and altruism. And last week we talked about empathy, the ability to look at our own suffering as a vehicle for understanding the experience of the people around us. And today we're talking about kindness. Kindness is a principle that shows up throughout the Dharma all the time in various teachings. It's one of the 10 perfections of the heart. It's one of the 4, what's known as the 4 boundless qualities, the Brahma Viharas, which are loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. And Buddha taught a lot on the nature of kindness. And if you spend much time with Dharma teachers and meditation teachers, you'll hear about it a lot. Loving kindness. And it brings me to one of my favorite stories of the Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama sat down under the Bodhi tree because he knew his awakening was close. And he closed his eyes and he entered meditation, and he was right on the verge of awakening. And Mara, the god of illusion, wanted to stop the awakening because the god of illusion, of course, does not want another awakened being. And Mara just represents the dark side, the shadow we all carry. And after several days of bringing Mara's armies, which I'm going to talk about in a later Dharma talk, Buddha was unmoved. So he threw at him the last thing he had, which was self-doubt. He said, "What makes you think you're someone who can awaken? It's not kindness." And Buddha reached down and touched his hand to the ground as if to say, just because I'm here. And he awakened in that moment, and he opened his eyes and he saw Mara. And all the clouds of doubt and the armies of temptation and anger and resentment, all that just disappeared. He saw Mara sitting right in front of him. And he said, "I see you, Mara." And then he did something really interesting. He said, "I see you, Mara. Let's have tea." So what I take away from that is he looked right into his own darkness with an invitation to kindness. Let's have tea. Good timing, Gene. So part of the practice of kindness is we begin with kindness, loving kindness towards ourselves, and invite the parts of ourselves that are difficult to tea, to presence, to nourishment, to comfort, rather than aversion. There's a story I heard, and I didn't know if it was true, but I later met the Dharma teacher who was involved in this when the Dalai Lama first came to America. He was doing a lecture tour. And Sharon Salzberg, one of the teachers at the Insight Meditation Center in Massachusetts, approached him and said, "How come you never talk about self-esteem?" And the Dalai Lama didn't know what she was talking about. So she explained it, and it made him cry, because it had never occurred to him that people would feel bad about themselves. That was a totally new concept. So meeting ourselves with something other than kindness is a cultural thing. It's not a natural thing. We live in a culture where we tend to be hard on ourselves. And honestly, if all of that being hard on ourselves and self-loathing and self-criticism was ever going to help, it would have helped by now. So maybe it's time to give that up, try something else. Loving kindness in Pali, which is the language that the Dharma was first translated into after being an oral tradition for 500 years, is metta. And it's directly related to the word mita, M-I-T-T-A, which translates into friend. So metta, loving kindness, is friendliness, boundless friendliness towards oneself and others. Now that might be difficult for some of us, because we all have difficult people in our lives. So maybe a way to think about it is goodwill. That might be easier. Just like wishing goodwill towards people. The easiest way possible we can to gently and naturally grow goodwill, We can have goodwill towards difficult people. We don't have to love them and invite them to dinner. But we can wish that person to have a good life and to be happy. And whatever behavior that is you're meeting with aversion with that person that you find difficult to deal with, perhaps we can look at that as a sign of their suffering and unhappiness. This person is suffering, and this is what that looks like. And meet that person with goodwill, wishes for goodwill, kindness. But today I'm talking a little more about meta practice towards oneself, because it's easy to criticize ourselves. And it's a kind of self-centeredness that mindfulness can liberate us from. And the more we free ourselves, the more we benefit others. And the more we benefit others, the more we benefit ourselves. As we learn to be kinder with ourselves, it's easier to project that, to bring that to the world. And being able to truly love and care for ourselves is the foundation of being able to love and care for others. The more we can bring kindness, loving kindness to ourselves, and the more we can bring it to the outside world and to our relationships and to other people. Which brings me to one of my favorite stories from Carl Jung. When I was a therapist, I studied Jung a lot, kind of a hero of mine. This 80-year-old woman goes to Carl Jung and she says, "How come everybody's mean to me?" And he says to her, "How come you're so mean to everybody?" And it was like an awakening moment for her. He had that effect on people. Karma, what goes around comes around. The work that this woman had to do, it turned out to be, was internal, being kind and loving to herself so that she could bring that to the world, because she was so angry and disaffected that just sort of came to her and then was reflected back to her, and then it gets cyclical. It's a self-care process to see ourselves and our well-being as important, and to soften and relax the ways we close down and diminish ourselves so we have more to give. And it is not an opportunity to look at where we may feel like we're falling short on this and then not be kind to ourselves. Okay? That's the paradox. I say, I'm going to be kind to myself, and I notice myself being hard on myself, and now I get hard on myself for that. When I was working as a therapist, every now and then someone would say, "I want to be perfect." And I would say, "Well, what if we get our now and this is it?" These are the jokes. They don't get funnier. It's not a dress rehearsal. You may as well meet yourself in the world of kindness and compassion now, rather than considering it something you can do later when you feel better about yourself. It's like a foreign language. We can't teach a foreign language unless we understand the foreign language. We can bring kindness and compassion to the world as we bring it to ourselves. So the more we practice loving kindness, the more we bring it out. And this is an aspiration. It is not a do this, which is the way some people see things in this culture. It's an opportunity for gentleness and self-compassion. We don't have to feel loving kindness all the time, and we don't, right? So we can be gentle with ourselves, and we can aspire. It's a wish or an aspiration. And it's so much easier to have a life that includes self-compassion, loving kindness. We're generally less agitated, relieved of the stress of chronic self-criticism. It's easier to be focused, easier to be more relaxed. We no longer are consciously or unconsciously fending off fear, that our fears, negative feelings about ourselves might be validated. We can look at that and approach it the same way we would approach a child in pain. A little compassion. It's okay, Ken. It's okay. Just offer yourself. It's okay. It's okay. That leads to a kind of kindness without conceit, knowing that we're okay and not having to worry about it. It's a healing practice. And not struggle to make something happen, but to let this arise and nurture and cultivate within you. So I'd like to do another short meditation and take you through a practice on loving kindness, a metta practice. So I invite you to close your eyes and repeat after me in your mind. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be at ease and at peace. And now I'd like you to bring to mind someone close to you, the closest person, a spouse, a friend, a benefactor. And with that person in mind, just repeat, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be at ease and at peace. And now bring to mind somebody that you're not necessarily close to, but connected to. A coworker, a neighbor, someone you see around. And offer, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be at ease and at peace. And now I invite you to bring to mind somebody totally neutral. The checkout person at the store that you see. Someone you see walking their dog down the street. And offer, may you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be at ease and at peace. Now I invite you to bring to mind someone difficult. Someone you have a difficult time with. Someone you may have difficulty with. Not the most difficult person in your life. Whoever it was that was interrupting our practice, maybe. And for that person, may you be happy.
Щелку налево, можно направо. Приставь два пальца под нос.
May you be well.
Практически. Обождите,
May you be safe. May you be at ease and at peace. And now I invite you to, may all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease and at peace. I invite you to open your eyes. It looks like we were getting trolled. 2.5 years, almost 3 years of doing these online, and it's the first time. I'm surprised it took that long. So I think I have instructions for this meta practice on my website, and if I don't, I will add it today. It's a good practice to do on a regular basis. Alcoholics Anonymous suggests that if there is somebody we resent, that we pray for this person. And this meta practice is a good way to do that, I think. So I invite you to be kind and gentle with yourself. I invite you to practice kindness in your own heart, to enable that in the world. And I thank you for your kind attention. Does anybody have any comments, questions, criticisms, witticisms?
What a little oasis from the chaos out there that was momentarily presented. Thank you.
Thank you. Really, as I said, almost 3 years of doing these Zoom sessions. It's the first time I got trolled.
Yeah. Fascinating.
I don't want to have to enable the waiting room for these sessions, but if it comes to that, I will. Julie.
Yeah, I can attest to that. It's unusual. But, you welcome everybody. So that's the beauty of it. And yeah, the struggle I have is that, on the one hand, Buddhism teaches, don't give into your ego, don't focus on the ego, don't focus on achieving things and accomplishments and being the best at everything. But on the other hand, it teaches, self-love and being able to accept it when people compliment you or are proud of you. Because I've noticed a lot of people, when I nominate them for an award, like a cash or time off award, they're on the one hand, they're grateful, but they're also like, I don't deserve that. I don't want that. I'm embarrassed by that. Don't tell anybody you're doing that for me. You know, it just, I'm like, I don't, it makes me hesitant. I'm like, should I be nominating them for awards? They seem so, they almost seem upset about it, you know, which surprises me.
There's a kind of strain of don't do anything nice for me in this culture.
Yeah.
And I think that represents the difficulty of people offering kindness to themselves. One time, this is years ago, somebody said something really nice to me. And I started that hem haw thing that we do, right? And she said, Ken, just shut up and say thank you. And maybe the best advice I ever got. I think
I learned.
we can meet people with kindness, and when they have difficulty with that, we continue to meet them with kindness. And we can say, yeah, I mean, you deserve this. It's okay. It's okay to be good to yourself. It's okay to accept kindness.
It's hard for me to do that too. It's very hard just to say thank you. It's always, my first reaction is always like, I'm embarrassed and I got, you know, don't want it, like you say.
You know, Julie, you're a really cool person. I enjoy seeing you every week and on Monday nights. I'm just grateful for your presence. Can you take that in?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, it's a practice. Whenever anybody offers you any kindness at all, just thank you. And to the part of you that has difficulty accepting that, I suggest you just like bow to that with kindness and say, I see you. I love you. It's okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Ken.
Anybody have anything else?
What I heard of this in some teaching is that when somebody gives you anything, compliment, whatever, instead of not accepting it, you have to thank them for their generosity. It's their generosity that we are focused on, not ourselves, but the other person's generosity. So I think that's just an act.
Thank you. I like that. It reminds me, I did a Dharma talk. I was living in Sacramento with in Louisville, the Louisville Passcode group, and they have a pass the hat sort of thing. And at the end of the Dharma talk, they gave me the money from the bowl, and I didn't know what to do because I really don't. You know, the $12 is not going to change my life, and there are better things you can do with it. But I took the money because it just seemed like the thing to do at the time. And I asked another Dharma teacher I know, what about that? He said, it's important to receive a gift of generosity because otherwise you're rejecting someone else's dana practice. So when someone offers you something nice, a reward, a kindness, a compliment, holds the door for you, just receive that as an act of their generosity and let them do it.
It's also an opportunity to repeat the practice for others. I found that when I learned to just say thank you, it was tremendously freeing. And it was in that awkward moment, such a simple thing to say, and then the pressure was released. I mean, the energy was allowed to flow. And one thing I absolutely love when I am out in public, the grocery store, wherever, you know, to be helpful or kind to others, it's tremendously freeing. It actually does me more good than necessarily whatever the practice might be for others, you know, whether it's holding a door or carrying a parcel or whatever it might be. But it is one of the simplest ways to fill up your soul with goodness. And I really like having access to that. And it's such a simple thing. I remember many, many years ago, I remember thinking, if you're walking and people are walking toward you, the simplest way to promote good energy is to smile.
Simple.
How complicated does it have to be, you know? But I really like the comments this morning from everyone about what a terribly punitive and harsh culture we live in. Because it is systemic. It's absolutely no wonder people are dying by the thousands or the millions of addiction and despair. It's,
those moments, thank you for that. First, thank you for that. Those moments when somebody offers us a kindness and we get like a contraction response, that's an I see you tomorrow moment. And remembering that Buddha looked right at his stuff and said, I see you. Let's have tea. So when someone offers you an award or a kindness or whatever, it's an opportunity for self-compassion.
Well, and I also recently read a Buddhist parable where the message was the giver should be thankful. And that was so opposite of what I've been told my whole life. The person receiving the gift or kindness or whatever it might be is the one who should be thankful. But really, it's the giver who should be thankful because you have the opportunity and capacity to give, and the person is willing to receive your gift, whatever that might be. And that really struck me. It's something I never had thought about it that way before. I know I've gotten into all-out arguments with people all the time about who should pay the check at a restaurant. Every time I try to pay the check, they get angry, they get upset about it, like it's an insult, and I don't understand it. But it's part of our culture to just to have that kind of attitude, I guess.
Yeah, I think being hard on ourselves is part of the culture. It's an unfortunate part of the culture. And one other thing I was reminded of from Jean's comment, I did a workshop with Gil Fonsdale on generosity. And at the end of the workshop, he challenged us to commit 3 acts of generosity a day. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Something as simple as letting somebody in front of you in traffic. Right? Once you start thinking about that, it changes your mindset when you start looking for opportunities for generosity. And it's back to you. It helps dissolve that core of unkindness that we carry in our hearts. So I leave you with that challenge to commit 3 acts of generosity a day. Thank you all for your kindness and presence this morning. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Yeah. Thank you all. Have a great week.
thank you. I'm going to be
Thank you.